Hello and welcome to this video. So guys, my name is Pros and this is a World of Tanks video on the T49, which is obviously the Tier 5 American tank destroyer from the new one. So of course the M8A1 beforehand, the Hellcat after, and a list of other tanks that I don't know the names of. If you haven't seen my M8A1, which is the Tier 4 version of this on this tree, then go check that one out, guys. I've done a video on that, and now, yeah, so this is the Tier 5 one. This tank, I didn't hold great hopes because I didn't really like the M8A1, and on that video it made me sound, when I got straight then, on that video, it made me sound like I didn't want to play with the tank and I wasn't going to bother with it. But I did, I grinded through, got the XP, because it's only 10,500 XP and 400,000 silver, so it wasn't too bad. Still, obviously saving for the 88, which is going to be fun. But yeah, move onto this tank. It's not a bad tank. I'm going to run through the stats quickly, and then I'll talk to you a bit more in depth about it. If my voice sounds a bit off, that's just because I'm tilting my head. Don't worry about it, it's not your headphones. So it has 340 hit points, an engine power of 330, a speed limit of 61 kilometers an hour, a traverse speed of 30, a hull armor of 22, 19 and 13, a turret armor of 22, 13 and 13, a standard shell damage of 56 to 94, standard shell penetration of 83 to 138, a rate of fire of 25, a turret traverse speed of 16, a view range of 370, a signal range of 325. Didn't mess up right to the end there, I do apologise. So yeah, the stats basically show view range. It's pretty decent view range. Is alright. Obviously the speed limit is crazy, 61 kilometers an hour, which is awesome. Is mind blowing, blistering pace, as they say in the sporting industry. So yeah, they're the decent stats. It has 340 hit points, which isn't bad at all. In a tier 5 game, you're probably going to be 3 bordering on 4 shot. So you can get hit a couple of times. Obviously, if they have like slow firing, loads of damage turrets, then it's going to be a different story. But most tanks aren't going to damage you too much that you're going to be stuck out there doing nothing. I managed to finish this game players seeing with like 56 health. So that was just showing you that it can be done. And this was like one of my 3rd or 4th games playing with this tank. It's not a bad tank at all. The first gun you're seeing, obviously those stats were the first gun. The second gun is a very similar gun. It's like 5,000 XP, and all it is a slower fire rate but more damage. So basically it's the same, just in proportion, if you get what I mean. And yeah, so I don't mind the tank. It's not bad. Not my favorite tank. Best tier 5 tank would probably have to go to the Wolverine. It's just an awesome tank. And this is very similar to the Wolverine, as in it doesn't traverse very fast. Like if you take, for example, the Stug moves really fast from side to side. It just feels really agile. But this obviously doesn't, because it's got a turret. If it moves to the side really quickly, then it would be really overpowered. And that's why the Wolverine as well is obviously the American tanks that are very similar. I don't know what it is. I do really like this. The best way to play with it, I find, is watching this gameplay is exactly how I'd say it, is play defensive. Play with if you've got a couple of friends online who have bigger tanks, then play with them like that. Or do what I did, which is just follow some kids. And they did quite well. They weren't too shy, because a lot of people in some tanks, they just don't push up and they don't actually attack. Because all you need to do is all move up a bit, attack, hold back, attack, hold back, which this tank does incredibly well, because it accelerates and reverses so fast. It hits like 20 kilometers an hour instantly. As soon as you click in that thumbstick, it's gone. Like easily to 20, and then obviously increasing. But yeah, so that's why I really like this tank as well, because it reverses so fast. You can pop out. You see me take a light tank out or do some damage to a light tank around a rock. Basically, I pop out, hit him, come back, hit him, and it's just like you can keep repeating that. As long as you don't do it to a timing, because you want to make sure they shoot, hit the rock, or they shoot, hit the ground. If you keep doing it exactly the same time, like popping out at the exact same time as soon as your turret's reloaded, they're going to catch on to it and they're going to hit you. If you're not on much health, or you don't want to lose half your health, then obviously you got to be careful of that. Or just like go from different sides of the rock if it's a smaller rock. But you see, at one point as well, I'm not a very patient player at times, especially in these faster tanks. I feel like I should be like attacking really fast. But at one point you see, because I don't have much health, there's a medium tank that I don't bother even trying to attack. I just wait for my team to take him, just because there's no point. Because if he's shooting at my team, if I pop out and he sees me on 56 health or whatever it is, then he is so going to go for me. He's not going to bother about them. If he can get a quick kill before he dies, then he's going to do it. He's going to take me out. If you guys like this tank, let me know what you think of it. Just because I didn't have great expectations of this tank, and that's why I think I've enjoyed it a little bit more. and it's so different. It's so fast, and you can use it as sort of like a light tank, moving, flanking, and like if you've got a mortar on your team, then you can sort of move up, spot a guy that's not too far away. If they're back at the base, and if you're in a tier 5 game, like tier 5 mortars are so overpowered with their range. If you pop up, spot him, come back, your teammate can hit him, or if you just keep showing, like, pointing attention to it, then you can get some, like, heavy tanks over. If you're in game chat, then just, like, rally them and rally everyone to come help you. Because it is a very effective tank at times. Obviously, it's not great with if you're in massive, like, you can't go like an 82, you can't just roll up and expect that you're going to get loads of kills and you're going to bounce loads of shots. One of the games I played with, I was on the sand map El Halif, or I think it's called. That one worked really well, that my team did quite well, and then I could just pace up the hill and start flanking them and try and take out their mortars. Because that's what this tank's very good at, is if you're on one side of the map and your base is getting captured, then you can just bomb it back to your base. If they're a hull lock tank or something, then you can just sort of move around the side, hit them, and then you wait for your team to come in. So obviously you can reset the timer when you hit them. And also, it's a very good mortar hunter. So at the end of the game, I always have a little thing where I try, if they got mortars, if I'm in a suitable tank, then I try to mortar hunt, which is basically just find the mortars, because they're obviously going to be at the back of the map normally. And if you've got a tank like this, which does move very fast, reloads very fast, so you can have a decent damage turret. Mortars, if they're not too clever, then they won't, because some mortars are quite clever where they back up and just wait for you if they have a feeling that you're coming, and they can just one-shot you quite easily with their turret. But if you can sort of get behind them, take their tracks down, stop them moving or whatever, or even if you can just spot them for your other mortars, then it works really well. So you can get kills with this tank quite easily. It's difficult to play in a higher tier game. I struggled in a few that I played. In a tier 5 game, it is very doable. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribe if you really enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Cheers.